before that time. And for about 2 years, the party was being run through caretaker committee. So there are quite a number of things that ordinarily should have been put in place if legitimate executive were to be in place before now.
Okay.
But be that as it may, it's an election. It's not something that anybody is given a different time from what is available to another political party. What we are doing is what we should do, and we are doing enough to see us through in the upcoming election.
Okay. Now, could I inquire as to, those who are interested? I know that this will become very, very clear because I see that in the list of programs leading up to the election, there's the sale of nomination and expression of interest forms. This has actually commenced, I understand, from February 24 to end on the 5th of March. What's that like? How many people are interested, and what's the price of the form? Because the increasing, what seems to be happening nowadays is that these forms are not cheap. What's the situation with in Anambra PDP, picking up the expression of interest forms?
I cannot tell you the exact number of persons who are interested in running for the office at this time.
Okay, not yet.
Because our form is still on sale. In fact, we just opened sale of form now, this week.
Yes.
And what will determine the number of persons who are into the race is at the end of sales of form, and how many persons were able to pick their form. Mere declaration of intention does not qualify one as an aspirant until the person is able to procure a form and at the same time complete the form and submit it to the leadership of the party. Until that is done, then we can now tell you categorically who are the aspirants under our party. That is it. Then for issue of the cost of the form, well, the cost of the form is the same everywhere. We are not, the economic situation has made everything to be high, and which is not necessitated by the political party, but the present economic realities in the country. So for us, the form is there, and expression of interest is 5 million naira for the form. So the form itself is 35 million naira.
Okay.
So that is it.
So indeed, so that would be in the region of 40,000, 5 million plus 35 million. Okay. Well, in today's, where the situation we find ourselves in today, there are probably those who would say that that is not exceedingly expensive, but that is not what ordinary people will be saying. It's probably that politicians, they have their own different funds. But the information is what we need from now, and thank you about that. Now,
yes.
Yes.
Sorry. For the form, yes, it may not be very cheap or affordable for every Nigerian, but then provisions have been made for certain categories of persons.
Okay.
For instance, women don't pay. It is free for women who wants to participate. And at the same time, for younger persons who wants to participate in that election, the form is given to them at free of charge, and at a 50% discount, sorry.
Okay, at a 50% discount.
For people, discount, yes, for people below 40 years.
Okay.
So and for persons with disability also, they are not expected to pay to be able to be in the race. So there is quite enormous consideration for certain level of persons, just to give room for persons who wants to participate in the election.
Okay, I can see that a lot of work has been going on within the PDP preparing for this. Apart from the sale of forms and the nomination and expression of interest forms, I'm seeing here that even screening, it's been planned, it's been thought about. Screening of aspirants, as you said, the fact that a person is an aspirant doesn't mean he becomes a candidate. He still has some other hurdles to jump. Screening of aspirants is scheduled for March 11, 2025, if that is correct and is still the date. Indeed, after that, appeals on the screening exercise have been slated for March 14. This sort of indicates the level of preparation going on. All these things have been thought about and have been laid out.
Yes, we have a program for screening. Of course, you know the essence of screening the candidates because one needs to be sure of who you are presenting as a candidate. We've often seen situations whereby candidates are presented for an election, and at the end of the day, the candidate is not qualified. And if the party at the end of the day had achieved certain level of success, obviously the effort will be in vain. So it's part of the screening exercise which will be done. And there are so many other activities leading to the primary election itself, because this entire thing is a process. It's not just one-off election. Before then, there will be ad hoc delegate election, wherein, because in PDP, we don't do direct primaries, we do indirect. The indirect means that persons elected to represent the people are the delegates to the Congress. So we are going to do the ward congresses to elect those persons before the main election itself. And for every stage of this election, there is an appeal committee that normally take time to look into the process to see that there is total adherence or compliance to the timetable and the guideline for the election. So it's a process, but ultimately, the primary election itself will be on the 5th of March, 5th of April, 2025.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, because this is to familiarize people who might not be in that axis as to what is going on, even though Nigerians have a very keen interest in politics and still will know about these things. Now, on to the meat of the matter. The ruling party in Anambra is APGA, and His Excellency Professor Charles Soludo is in charge there. What do you think the chances of the PDP are like? Would you say they're good? Is it going to be, a tough one to crack? Give me an idea, because a lot of these things depend on the record of service of whoever is being challenged. If it is not a terminal situation such as you've completed your 8 years. So what would you say to us is PDP's plan for this election? Because, well, APGA is there, PDP is there, APC is there. So against that backdrop, is what I'm asking, what do you think the chances of your party?
For us in the PDP, we are very much optimistic. The chances are there. The government in power, they are doing the much they can, but they have not done quite enough. It's unfortunate that our party has been out of power in the state for a very long time now. But nevertheless, PDP remains the party to beat, or the party to contend with when it comes to political office in Anambra State. And like we keep presenting ourselves to the general public, during elections, whom has found us very credible at so many times. We will do that, and I think it is left for the voting public to decide based on. But for me to start speaking about what the government is doing well and what they are not doing well at this point, I think it may not be necessary at this point until after the primaries. Because when I'm speaking, I should be speaking from the point of who our candidate is, comparing note to what we have on ground at the moment. But if I begin to speak about it now, that there is no clarity as to who the candidate is until after primary election, then we'll begin to discuss. And again, the party is not party that attack people based on attacking sake. No, we don't do that. For a number of things that we feel had been done well, then we'll look at it and we'll consider it in that order. But there are numerous things that are not properly done or properly being done by the political party in power at the moment.
Okay. I understand perfectly when you put it like that, what you mean. But even you, your very good self, as an indigen of Anambra, you've explained that you're going to wait for the primaries so that we know who is our front leader. You know, because you are in Anambra, you're a politician, you're an observer, you're a citizen. You don't want to speak about areas of that can be improved upon, you know, even if you don't know who is going to be heading up your party yet. You prefer that for the moment, let's be mum about that. Or are there some things that are quite glaring that it's almost like it's non-partisan, a better job needs to be done in certain areas? Are there any things like that?
Yes, there are many areas that needs to be improved upon, so many sectors. But like I said, for instance, in the area of security, a lot needs to be done in that regard. Area of human capital development, so much needs to be done on that. Including infrastructural development, a lot needs to be done on that.
Okay.
But like I said, when the time comes, we'll pick them item by item, bring out what the government has done that they didn't handle the way they ought to. And what we are providing should be a way forward. Because if I should stay here now and start saying security is not, I've not taken time to know what exactly they have done in the area of security that led us to where we are. But by the time the election is gearing up or is coming up, before then, we would have done enough research to provide you full data as to what they did that they didn't do well, and what we think should have been the best option that could have yielded the result, and how we intend to move the state forward if given the opportunity. We don't believe in this arrangement of you just come up and you say, this person didn't do well. If you said the person didn't do well, you should be able to explain exactly this is the action he took that wasn't appropriate, and this is what it ought to be. And by the time we get into that time, we are going to be approaching the public with facts and figures as to what the government has not done well and the way we think we can better it.
Okay. At the beginning, you had explained that, look, your setup, your chairman of PDP in Anambra State is just about 4 months old because there were some issues, shall we say, let's put it like that. There were some issues that were being grappled with, and here we are today. We have your administration as the PDP chair in Anambra State. Now, I wanted to ask, whatever those issues were that, you know, you just have an administration that is somewhere like 4 months old. Do you think this could affect the preparation and that might this in any way put the party on the back foot in Anambra, especially relating to the November 8 election? Because you have to agree that when you compare your tenure right now, it's 4 months old now, maybe it's not like that in other places, in other parties. And so do you think they are in a better kind of a state? They have a better understanding, the engine is up and running, and you in the PDP are going to have to get together a critical mass to really persuade the people of Anambra that we're here and we're here for business and you can depend on us?
For us, yes. We have some challenges. The challenges we have, they are man-made challenges. And that's a very large political family, because this party is the only party, or if not the only, maybe among the very few parties that you can find in every ward and every nook and cranny of the state. There is no ward you go to into Anambra State that you not see well-constituted PDP structure. It's not like that to so many other political parties. But like in a big family, there are in-house fightings here and there. Unfortunately, some of those persons that created this confusion, many of them are already exiting and going into another party. Sometimes when you are faced with challenges, God uses those challenges to better you up, to gear you up, to make you a better person, because it will make you to think out of the box. Now the party is getting aware, and for every crisis we go into, it helps us to plan better. We are taking care to build up and to cover for all the mess and all the conflict created here and there by certain individuals in the party. And I believe by the time we finish what we are doing, the party will be very much in place and stronger than ever to go into this race.
Well, okay. Sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
Yes, sometimes what we normally get is clash of all the big men within the party. You know, in Anambra is predominantly big. In fact, it's number one cluster when you talk about billionaires.
That's right.
Where you see people who come to exhibit that tendency of affluence, wanting to force certain principles and policies on people and all that. And the moment it happens, you begin to see conflict here and there. I think those things are going down gradually because the presence of these persons are reducing in number.
Oh, okay.
Some persons had asked in the past, your billionaires are leaving. What are you doing about it? It's not about billionaires. Billionaires that create conflict does not help any political party. So it's better for us to stay the way we are, have persons that can work together as a team, because political party is all about forming a team. The stronger you are, the better for you. So I think the way we are today, God helping us, we are going to do better. And for all those ones that had left the party to other political party for one reason or the other concerning the crisis, we have seen them in the past. It has happened before, and we are very much used to that. We've seen them go, we've seen them come back. It's not the first time. And we believe they will still come back to join the party when the chiefs are down. So we are looking forward that many of them will still come back home to join us to make the party, to push the party to win the election when the time comes. Okay.
Well, for the PDP, it's on record. I think people know that the first PDP governor in Anambra State was Dr. Mbadinuju, and then it was followed by Ngige, Dr. Ngige, Dr. Chris Ngige. So, look, if you hark back to those times and then you look at now, those are arguably quite large shoes to fill. And well, you can't have money, can't have politics without money. You've just said, I was going to ask if the cluster of billionaires being so large in Anambra, does that make your job any more difficult? But you've sort of said, you've explained that, well, some of them are on the way out, and indeed you've sort of given us your stance that it's not about being a billionaire. Tell me, against the backdrop of those I mentioned, take Mbadiniju, take Chris Ngige, would you say those were glory days of Anambra? And do you want to return to those, or, just talk us through? Because PDP, before it left power, and you have said it's been quite a while, how difficult is it going to be to slip into the shoes, especially as other people are making new tracks? ABGA, for instance, has been making new tracks with the sitting governor. No doubt they're going to be quite interested in extending their stay. That is within the party. No party is going to want to give up power if they can possibly afford not to.
Well, for the old glory days of PDP, yes, there was. Remember that this party, or the soul of this party, is founded in this state. The leader of the team that founded this party, the PDP, His Excellency Dr. Alex Ekweme of the blessed memory, happens to come from this state.
Okay, yeah.
And at formation, this party was very much strong, doing well and marvelously well. Our last governor was Dr. Chris Ngige. And I can tell you, and you can make your personal findings, the roads done under Ngige era are still the roads that are motorable within the state. And you can make your personal findings. In those days, things were working better. When PDP was in power under Mbadinuju in those days, there was high level of insecurity before the party came in. But under Mbadinuju, issue of security was brought to an end, or rather to the barest minimum, that Anambra became very safe at that time. So for us, we were doing well in office at the time we were in office. And I can tell you, because PDP has consistently, until lately, produced members of the national assemblies for the party, both in the Senate, both in the House of Representatives. And I can tell you that most of the government intervention programs that exist in this state were the ones attracted by PDP. Most of them, majority of them.
Okay.
Other political parties, if you ask them to point out what number of projects being done or that was executed by their representative, you will see it's very scanty. But all the elected members of PDP, till today, when you are going, some of them still have the flags of the respective legislator that attracted them. Some of them were known as Mr. Project in their respective environment. But those ones that came through other political parties, you hardly see what they do. Because PDP is well structured in such a way that we have policies that guide our legislators and elective officers. And oftentimes we make sure that we stand our ground to make sure that they deliver in their mandate to the people. Unlike other political parties wherein nobody cares, nobody shows concern, nobody can even hold you accountable because everybody joins forces there just to take one or two. PDP has done enough in the state, and I believe strongly that if given much more opportunity, PDP will do better.
Okay, let me bring in our caller. I beg your pardon, a viewer has called in. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
And morning to your guest.
Yes. The PDP chairman in Anambra State.
Yes. Uncle Yori, the Anambra election is November this year.
That's right.
About, yes, a few months away.
November 8th.
Okay, yes. I have seen a number of movements. I see many people moving to the APC in that state. PDP is also trying to see what they can do on that election. But from where I sit, okay, I do not see the possibility of wresting that seat from Professor Soludo, who is seeking a second term, for two reasons. Number one, ABGA, which is the platform that Soludo is running on, ABGA is seen in the East as a party for the Easterners. And they see Anambra State as the last that they must hold on to in the East, not to go into another party that is alien to the East in their own mindset. Okay, that mindset, I have not seen a change in it. And if you go back to the figures of the results of election that brought in Soludo, it was a complete win. And from his time he started up to now, his performance has not been supported by the people to the extent of rejection. So I do not see anyhow another party will just come now, whether it's PDP or APC, and succeed easily to snatch that brain from him. The basis for it, I have not seen it.
Okay.
The only person that will have been able to, struggle with him is the senator that asked him. That one, even then, I didn't see the possibility of him proceeding, unless Soludo may have been completing his second term. But as he's going into the second term, I want to take it from him. I don't see it happening.
No.
I stand to be corrected.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. George, calling in from Lagos there, giving his own analysis of the political situation in Anambra. Chief Chidi,
Yes.
how would you react to that?
To an extent, he's correct that ABGA has been there. The sentiment of being a regional party may be there. But then PDP has consistently shown love. The Anambra people has consistently shown love to PDP in the past, until recently. And I said one thing. We've made some mistakes in the past. And sometimes when you make mistake, you quickly correct. The essence of mistake is for you to correct it. PDP today is the only is the only political party that can wrestle power from ABGA. The only. And I'm not missing a word about it. Last election that he made reference to. Yes, we know the reason why we could not win that election, because after every election, you go back for post-election analysis, and you should be able to tell yourself the truth. This is what we did right, and this is what we didn't do right. In that election, we couldn't win, not because of the party, but because we had a very weak candidate. A very weak candidate. Unfortunately, the candidate is even blaming the party for making him to lose the election. Going to persons and saying if it is not for PDP, he couldn't have. This is somebody who has never been in the party. He didn't know anything about political party. When he came, going through his resume, we felt that he should be a very credible person who understands. And he was elected on the day of primary to be the candidate. The moment he was elected, he came up with so many crises and conflicts to the extent that immediately after the election, he left. To tell you that our loss is because of him, we came second in that election. Mm-hmm. We came second. But for him, he came third in his own local government. That's how popular and that's how unpopular the candidate was. In his own local government, he came third. He didn't come first. One would have expected that a candidate should come first in his own local government before you talk about other places where you are supposed to win. So And every adjoining or immediate local government around him, because where he comes from, there are 3 local governments that are like brothers. They refer them as OAU. In that OAU, there is no local government where he came first or second. Now, we learned our lessons that sometimes you don't just absorb somebody because he's jumping into the party, coming with all manner of rhetoric and trying to tell who he is that he is not. Today, when he finished with the party, he has run to go for another place where he thinks that there is bed of roses. We wish him well. So for us, we've learned our lessons. And that is why we are taking our time to make sure that we do not make same mistake over and again.
Okay.
The number of activities we are putting in place are those activities that will make PDP much more successful, formidable, stronger, if not for this election alone, even for subsequent elections to come.
Mm-hmm. All right then. I'll tell you what, Chief, we'll take a break now. Please stay with us. We'll be right back to continue this conversation, and we'll take any calls that come in while we're at it. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything.
If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all their demands. A familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrency.
Facts matter. Our team dives deep to separate fact from popular opinion.
We simplify complex government policies as it impacts your everyday life, helping you navigate the ever-changing financial landscape.
Watch Business Nigeria every weekday at 2 p.m. only on TVC News. First with breaking news.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV station of the year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Okay, welcome back, and our guest is Chief Chidebe. He's the PDP chairman in Anambra State. Thank you very much for your time this morning. You've explained, if we go back to the beginning now, I didn't want to concentrate too much on that area, but now that we've dealt with all the important stuff, what was the nature of the difficulties that the party had that have led to, what you explained at the top of the program, that look, we've just been in office for 4 months or so. What was the nature, and is the party well now, if we use the healing metaphor? is it well enough now as a political party to continue its job under your leadership in Anambra State?
Yes, the major problem of the party in the past has been situation where one big man, one strong individual wants to dictate for who becomes and what happens in the party. It has been the problem of the party. At all times, you see somebody who wants to own a party. And you know PDP, unlike other smaller political parties, it is difficult for you to own a party. It is difficult for you to dictate A, B, C, and Z of a political party.
Okay.
It has been the problem. And sometimes these individuals, one thing they do is either they own it, or they scatter it, or they create confusion. It has been the problem. Now, so many of them that you see today leaving this party, check their record. They had left the party in the past. They came back to the same party. Because each time you go out, you find out that where you are going to is even, is just like, you can't even compare it with PDP. You find out that PDP is well structured and more organized. They will come back. We are still expecting so many of them that they will come back. Definitely, because we are the only party that is democratic in nature within the context of democracy in Nigeria, not just in Anambra.
Because so, I was just going to ask, sorry to interrupt, I was just going to ask you your personal opinion as to whether democracy is alive and well in Anambra State as far as PDP is concerned.
Definitely, definitely. Democracy is alive in my state. Everything is, you know, my people are not those kind of persons that you just pocket everybody. No, Anambra is not one of such states. We are not. We are two independent-minded people, and that's why I said money is not a key actor when it comes to politics in Anambra State. If you check all those multi-billionaires who throw away money, very few of them get successful in any election. Check the history of our governorship and the rest of them. You find out that most of them that win this election are modest persons that don't. So, and that's why we blame ourselves sometimes that we field candidates that cannot match what was existing in other political parties at that time, of which we have taken correction and we've learned our lessons. And I know in this coming election, whoever that will be our candidate will be somebody who is well examined, that can compare with who is there at the moment. We don't just need to go to anywhere and get somebody and feel that person as a candidate and we say we are running for an election. No, we don't do that. But when we come up with our candidate is somebody that can be bold and proud enough to say, this is a candidate. For so reason, he can do better than this person who is in that office.
Mm. Well, at the same time, you don't need me to tell you that you probably don't want to alienate the, deep pockets. Well, let's just call them the better name, the billionaires around the world. And there are probably more in Anambra State, is my guess, than in most other states. And as you have explained that, look, people can't just roll over us because, you are so affluent. It's not the way we are. We are much more independent-minded. But is there a danger of crossing over to the other side where these category of people now begin to look at, is that right? Okay, so no chance for us. Let's watch you people now and begin to use their vast resources to create effects that are probably undesirable. Although Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, let me just use the fact that he's a billionaire. And the party played in the American election. I don't think it is to be sneezed at. So these affluent people, and Anambra probably has more than most other places. Are they in their own sense, in their own right, a danger in the sense that if they feel shut out, they could strike back?
They can strike back, they may. But then, the way to democracy is not an easy one. But thank God my people understand. Anambra people, to a very large extent, they are democratic in nature.
Okay.
I will tell you, Anambra is one state that rigging election is at very, very lowest minimum, lowest level. I'm not saying there is no manipulation, but it's very, 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 very minimal. If you are not popular, you are not popular. That's Anambra for you. If you are not popular, you are not popular. There are persons that are running into the ruling party at the nation, that is into APC today. Many of them are running in there. If you ask them, they are running in there to go and make sure that they are delivered by hook or crook. It doesn't work in Anambra State. It has never worked like that in Anambra State. If you are not popular, you cannot be elected in Anambra. Anambra is such a place that on election day, everybody is in his own domain. You can't control anybody. And that's why I pity them for not coming to build and develop this party. Just the same way we are doing now. Is a thing of mind. For us that are in PDP today, we are working, we are making sure, we are doing everything to make sure that we deepen democracy and make it what it should be. The Congress that brought me into office is such that has never happened in the history of this country, in the history of this state. Very transparent. I believe your correspondents must have witnessed the Congress. You can also make your personal findings about that.
Yes.
It's a Congress that started and lasted for 22 good hours, starting from 9 a.m. and ended 7 a.m. the next day, without a pause, without stopping at any point. And everything were transparently done. That is the new PDP. That is the new order. And that is also how our primary election will be. Okay. And everything we are doing is one promise that I have made to the members of the party. Going forward, everything we are going to do will be such that will embrace well-meaning, well-intended Anambra people. As they are coming, we are building and we are growing. We are not in a hurry to get people that will carry money to come to behave as if they are the owners of the land. At the end of the day, they will put the party into more conflicting situations. We don't want that anymore.
Were there those, not that, were there might have been some that were surprised at your emergence, at your victory, and as the chairman of the party in Anambra State.
Definitely.
Yes, so, you know, there was that quote-unquote controversy. So I don't know, would you like to just say a few words about that? Those who were surprised that you emerged victorious and you now are the party chairman in Anambra.
Yes, there are persons that are surprised about my emergence. Well, the reason being that they had expected that a very more controversial person would have won. They had expected that somebody with deep pockets would have won. That is the issue. In terms of pedigree, I had better than my opponents.
Okay.
In terms of experience, I had better than my opponent. In terms of resources, I may not have as much as they have. So for people of Anambra that I told you about, that money is not a factor. Many were being given money to vote against me. They rejected the money there and then and voted me into office. And my election was won based on character.
Okay.
And those elders and leaders of the party that truly believe in democracy, that truly want the party to change from what it used to be to a democratic environment where things should be done decently and in orderly manner. I had many of them as stakeholders that backed me. But those ones with a lot of resources that wanted to buy the way they do it in the past, they came in that same order. Many of them, as I speak, are even going to the court, getting frivolous orders and judgment of court just to make sure that they remove me. You need to see some manipulations, some very despicable things that are happening just because somebody wants to play politics. It's in this same party as it is now that somebody went and got an order of court asking for the executive that is elected on the directive and order of Court of Appeal to be nullified. Order of a federal high court or FCT high court rather. They want to nullify election that is conducted on the order of Court of Appeal. That's the kind of madness that we used to see in the past.
Well,
and some persons are still romancing with such dealings and such things. These are the things that we see. When we see it, it looks very awkward. But then it's been happening in this state for so many times. But I believe today, the number of persons that are still remaining in this party, they are persons with character, persons with integrity, persons with honor. And we are not ready to allow such to continue. Our environment, our state is known for the elites. Go and check the history of Anambra. In terms of anything, in the academic, in the industry, in any area of life. And when you begin to see this kind of persons controlling the affairs of the party in the way and manner they were doing before, persons will run away from the party. Sane persons will normally withdraw from the party. But today, the people of Anambra State PDP are no longer giving room for that. That does not mean we are not welcoming new members to the party, but those ones that think that they are strong, it is no longer Uhuru for them at this time. Thank you.
Well, that's a fine place at which to leave it, Chief. Chidebe. I'm sorry that I am stumbling on that, but I've learned it. Chidebe. Thank you very much for making time for us this morning. And there's still some time, quite a chunk of time between now and November 8th. So I'm sure we'll speak a lot more times before that time. Thank you once more, Chief.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Thank you for having me.
All right then. Okay, so that's our program today. Do please join us next on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folane. Bye-bye for now.
Meet Benga Oreshegun, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to journalists' Hangout.
Get ready